So today we're going to get into interpreting dot plots and finding the mean, median, mode, and range using our dot plots. So the example above is going to read, a class of 7th graders was asked to record how many siblings they have. The dot plot below represents the results. Now a dot plot is a number line with kind of dots above certain numbers. And what these dots represent in this problem is each dot is going to represent a student response. So students were surveyed, and each dot is going to equal a student response. Now these dots have numerical values, and notice every dot's above a number, so every dot is going to represent that numerical amount. So let's just look and see what these dots really represent in a data set. So notice we have one dot above 0. That means one student was surveyed and they had 0 siblings. We have 3 dots above 1. That means 3 students, different students, were surveyed and they all selected one sibling. They have one sibling. 4 dots above 2, that's going to tell us 4 different students were surveyed and they have 2 siblings. 2 dots above 3, that's going to tell us 2 students were surveyed and they have 3 siblings. 1 dot above 4, so 1 student surveyed has 4 siblings. No dot above 5, it's important to include 5 because we're on that number line, so we want to make those even jumps. That tells us, well, no student had 5 siblings. And then 1 dot above 6, that tells us 1 student has 6 siblings. So that's kind of what the data set looks like, and the visual representation is on that dot plot. So let's get into that first question. How many students were polled? So the number of students surveyed, that would be represented by the number of dots. Let's count the number of dots. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dots, meaning each dot is a student response. 12 students were surveyed. Now, if the question was asking how many total siblings are there, that's where we would use the numerical value of the dot. In this case, we'd add up all those numbers, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on to get the number of siblings. We want the number of students surveyed that's represented by each dot. Okay, so just 2 different questions. For question 2, it's going to ask us, describe the shape of the dot plot. Are the dots evenly distributed or grouped on one side? So it's always helpful to kind of see this dot plot as a whole because you can get some important information from just looking at where these dots are placed. Well, if we look at our dot plot, it doesn't seem like the dots are evenly distributed. It's not like there's 2 dots for each number. It seems like our dots are kind of more grouped towards the middle. So we'll put, what do we notice? It seems like our dots are grouped towards the middle of our dot plot. And that would tell us, well, it seems like more students have kind of 1 to 3 siblings than any other number of siblings. It could be helpful for a question if a question popped up like, do most students have 4 or more siblings, 4 or less siblings? Just seeing that trend where the dots are placed could help you answer those types of questions. So just important to note. Now question 3 is going to ask us, describe the spread of the dot plot. Are there any outliers? So we talked about this word outlier last week, and it's a very large number or a very small number compared to the rest of the numbers in your data set. Now we do have this 1 dot on 6, so some people may consider that an outlier. It doesn't seem like it's too much larger than the rest of the numbers. If it was a number like 10, I think we can consider that an outlier, so I'm not going to consider the 6 an outlier. I'm going to say there are really no outliers here. So most numbers seem to be pretty close together. So we'll put no outliers. And that's important because that means I can use the mean. If I wanted to find this average, I can use the mean because no outlier is throwing off that mean value. The last question is going to ask us to calculate the mean, median, mode, and range of the data. So all those concepts from last week. So we want to find the mean, we want to find the median, we want to find the mode, and last but not least, we want to find the range. So let's start with our mean. Now to find the mean, remember we have to take the sum of the values and divide it by the number of values. Now a couple ways we can kind of work with the mean here. We already have those data values listed in blue below. So we could add up all those numbers and then divide by, in this case, 12. From question 1, we know there's 12 dots, 12 values. If we're using the dot plot, another way you can work with it is go to each dot. So we have 0, we have 3 dots on 1. That tells us there's plus 3. We have 4 dots on 2. That tells us that's really plus 8. 2 dots on 3. That would tell us really 6. 1 dot on 4 plus 4. And 1 dot on 6 plus 6. And once again, we know there's 12 dots. 12 students were surveyed. So that's kind of one way you can use a dot plot. And if that way is kind of confusing, well, list the numbers just like we did at the start of the problem and find your sum. Add up all those numbers. So we'll find the sum here. So we have 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. 17 plus 4 is 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. So when we find that sum, we get 27. And I'll just do it in a different color. 27 over 12. So now we're going to divide it out to find our mean. So if we divide 27 by 12, we'll round it off to the nearest tenths place. We'd end up with 2.3, 2 3/10 as our mean. That tells us out of the student survey, they roughly have about 2 siblings each. That's the average. Now to find the median, we can use our dot plot to find the median as well. So once again, we could list our numbers in order from least to greatest as we did below, or we can use the dot plot. So let's see how we can use the dot plot to find the median. If we're using the dot plot, there's kind of 2 sides to our dot plot. There's this left side and this right side. So a trick you can use is you can start crossing out 1 dot on each side. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. So I'm kind of trying to work my way towards the middle. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. 1 on the left, 1 on the right. And now we're left with this, just one column of dots, 1 up top, 1 below. And we have an even number of values, so remember we're expecting to kind of have 2 values in the middle, and notice we're kind of left with these 2 values. So once again, if we're finding the median, remember we add those 2 values together, 2 plus 2, because those dots each represent a value of 2. Divided by 2, we end up with 4 over 2, which would equal a median of 2. And you might have figured that out with without adding the 2 plus 2. You might have saw it's going to end up being 2 as well. We end up with a median of 2. So that's one way of using the dot plot crossing out. Or you can kind of work with, once again, your data set. And you can apply kind of the same process. So kind of similar to last week to find that median, to find that middle number. So next we'll find the mode. And actually the dot plot's very nice to work with the mode because we're just looking for what has the most dots. So in this case we're looking for the most dots. And where are the most dots? Well, it looks like on 2 number of siblings, with 2 siblings, there's the most dots, meaning the most occurring number is going to be 2. So it's kind of a quick way if we're using the dot plot to find the mode. We know it's 2. Last but not least, we're going to find the range. And to find the range, remember it's the largest minus smallest value. So what's our largest value? It's 6. And I'll try to squeeze it in. 6. What's our smallest value? It's 0. 6 minus 0 would give us a range of 6. So our range would be 6. And once again, we're kind of looking at what's the largest value, what's the smallest value. We can use our dot plot to find the range as well. So that's using a dot plot to kind of interpret and define mean, median, mode, and range.